sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Hi, friends. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Josh. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, we wanted to bring you a very quick review because there is a brand new movie out on Hallmark Plus, exclusively on Hallmark Plus, and we've both watched it, and we want to give you our hot takes. So this is the first in 3 we're getting in this series called The Groomsmen. And so this first one is called First Look, and the plot summary is as follows. A pediatrician and an overseas doctor meet at a wedding in Philadelphia, but the long-distance family and their friends may hinder their budding romance. And Jennifer, I think this plot summary woefully undersells this movie because you've got heavy hitters here. This is Jonathan Bennett, BJ Britt, and of course, fan favorite Tyler Hynes.
Yeah, it's a three-peat. And, you know, Hallmark, God love them, they can't get the synopses right. Either they're way too long and they're novels, or it's like the shortest of short. So I agree. We watched this not because we had to, not because we're paid to, because we wanted to. I mean, who could say no to those faces? I like that this is sort of a response to the Wedding Veil trilogy that aired on Hallmark a couple years ago. Personally, the Wedding Veil trilogy, I watched them all. It was not necessarily my jam. I think the Allison Sweeney, Victor Webster joint was probably the best of the 3. But overall, I didn't really feel like the characters were developed enough for me to care about any of them. So let's talk about this movie. What is your favorite scene? What was your highlight from this movie?
Yeah, so if you're new to our podcast, usually we take the deepest of dives on the plot and we give you all of the scoop on what happened. But we're going to do something a little shorter here because we're going to do some more frequent reviews, I think, during the holiday movie season. And this is not a holiday movie, but I think my favorite scene in this entire one was when these guys were out camping and they have a run-in with a spider. And one of these characters is not a fan of spiders and freaks out. And these guys have a bit with physical comedy involving a very large branch and a hammock. And I literally LOL'd. I thought it was a really fun and funny scene. So what about you? What was your favorite scene?
I love that part, and to tie into mine, I love that it shows these 3 guys. They're not competing against one another at all. They're just best friends. They've known each other since summer camp, I think, and you really feel that with the way they portrayed their characters. So my favorite scene, I liked the spider hammock scene, but I also liked it opens and they're at a wedding, right? And it's Jonathan Bennett's sister's wedding, and a song starts playing, and it's Shake Your Groove thing. And they all kind of have this understood nod, and off they go, and they bust a move on the dance floor. Is it a little gimmicky? Yes. Is it a little similar to what they did at Three Wise Men and a Baby with a big dance sequence? Also, yes. Did I rewind it twice because it made me laugh out loud at my desk at work? Also,
yes.
So it was just very funny. Like, it just shows you, and it was early in the movie, so you kind of get that, yes, there's the romance, but it is going to be a little more calm than rom, which we don't always get. People call these movies rom-coms. A lot of times it's low on the calm. This one was high on the calm, so I am in for that.
It's time for Gold or Coal.
So Jennifer and I love to just break it down for you. And the way we do that on our podcast is in our Gold or Coal segment. We each bring 3 gifts. And good gifts are gold, not so good gifts are coal. And if there's more gold, we think it's worth your watch. If there's more coal, maybe pass. So Jennifer, let's give some gifts. What do you got for us first?
I will bring some gold to the pod, and her name is Heather Hemmons. And she is the leading lady in this movie. She is the other doctor to BJ Britt's character. I guess she's been in some of these movies before, Pinch of Portugal and some other things. I'd never seen her, and my life is now better having seen her. She was captivating in this role. She was just so effortlessly, I can't even say it, effortlessly cool. She was gorgeous and just so lovable and adoring and had this calm presence. It was just, I was obsessed with her. And I put on our Instagram account, I think I'm going to turn our Instagram account into a Stan account just for her. Not really, but I loved her. She gets some gold.
Absolutely. I would have to agree. I had not seen her in anything before. She's made for this kind of thing. It was so great for her. Yeah. So I totally agree.
There's more movies for Heather
Please,
Hynes. Yeah.
please, yeah. I think my first gift is going to be gold. I love the focus on genuine friendship among guys here. You get the sense that these three guys were not just cast in this movie to play these three roles. You get the sense that these three guys are legitimately friends and had a blast making this movie. Now, I don't know if that was acting or if it's legit. I'd like to believe it's legit because it looked legitimate to me. So I love just watching their banter and the way they played together and the way that they sort of showcased male friendship. We normally don't get these in these types of movies from Hallmark. Normally it's the girl and she's got a best friend who's sort of advising her through her life journey or whatever. But this is kind of the flip of that. And I think it's refreshing.
I love it. And I love that, you know, if you do get a guy friendship, it's like, hey, bro, go, like on Bride for Christmas with Andrew Walker's buddies, and they were total yokels. So this was very fleshed out, genuine. And I do think it was a genuine friendship with them in real life, because behind the scenes, they're shooting Instagram stories and all this of them promoting the movie. And it seems like they were really loving every minute of it. They're invested and they're proud of what they've done. And we don't always get that either. I think sometimes these movies are just phoned in by some actors and kind of just checking off, we got to hit a certain quantity, we're cranking out content. Did not get that impression with this movie at all. Everybody involved, or this trilogy, shall I say, seems very proud of it. So I agree there. My next piece of gold was at the end. I was left wanting more. Like, sometimes these movies drag on, but at the end I was like, golly, how are they going to wrap it up? And I knew it was a trilogy, but I kind of forgot that. I got so invested in it that I was like, oh, I'm not done with these characters. I want more. Well, luckily, we will get 2 more movies, and hopefully they are at least as good as this one, in my opinion, or improved. It can only go up from here.
I'm going to agree with that. My next gift is going to be gold. There's a really clever storytelling mechanism that I think they're using here. You don't know it yet because you've only seen the first and there's 2 more to come, but I think that it's all going to interweave and tie together, which makes me super excited. I love, too, and I don't know if you noticed this, but the executive producers are these guys. Like, they're all involved in not just acting in these movies, but they're behind the scenes producing these movies. So I think that they're bringing a lot of that sensibility around storytelling and what really works for this platform and this audience to this whole production. And I think it just feels really thoughtful and really well done.
Yes, and we've heard about this for a while. So they've been working on it for a while. I am just tickled pink with what we're getting out of the gate. So my last gift is like a nitpicky, minor piece of coal. And I texted Josh halfway through, which we usually don't do on our formal reviews. So I was like, I don't know. I feel like it's dragging or the pacing's off. And I could tell you didn't agree because you're like, I don't know why you feel that way. And I was like, maybe it's me. It's a me problem. So I think what it is, the first out of the gate, it's so strong. And then the end is strong. The middle, I do feel like there were some awkward pauses and some pacing issues because it was a smaller thing. It was more, there were a lot of cut scenes. So it was when BJ Britt's character was kind of courting the Heather Hynes character, and they were having this long distance relationship. So it was like cut to a Zoom call, cut to him with the boys, cut to them at work, cut to, like, there were just a lot of choppy cuts. And once he, spoiler alert, goes to see her in Bulgaria, is that where she was supposed to be from?
Somewhere.
Or residing
overseas. Yes.
Once he reconnects with her in person, and then the family comes and the guys get there for the wedding, it all made sense again. So, like I said, very minor piece of coal that they did fix, or it didn't last the whole movie. So, but I felt like I needed to say it. Gotta have the integrity of the pod, you know?
Understood. My last gift is going to be gold. I thought the B characters were actually really quite enjoyable. I liked the parents that they had. I thought the casting was great. They were not cardboard cutout kind of parents. Sometimes in these, they just sort of float someone in, and it really doesn't matter what they're saying or how they're acting. They're just there to sort of be the parents. You don't get that in this. They actually were thoughtful in the way they casted the parents and the siblings and the people that sort of surround the main characters, which I really appreciated because I thought it added some interesting layers and certainly added, to your point about this being more calm than rom, it added a lot of humor, I thought. So bottom line here, we had 5 pieces of gold, 1 tiny little piece of coal. And so we absolutely think this is worth the watch. And like you, Jennifer, I am excited, not just looking forward to it. Like, I'm excited to see the next two because I want to see how the story continues to evolve and how it all sort of works together.
Agreed. I think, and I did look it up, the trilogy of movies were filmed in Bulgaria and Greece. So we will go to Greece soon, which is exciting as well. I think the biggest tragedy of this movie is that it's coming out the day before the Hallmark countdown to Christmas begins. And everybody is now focused their attention on Christmas. Now, maybe I thought, and I was really racking my brain, why did they do this? Because obviously there are people smarter than me behind the scenes on this. Was it because they want to drive traffic to Hallmark Plus? I'm sure that's a big part of it. Was it for the people who say it's too soon to watch Hallmark movies? I don't want Hallmark or Christmas movies all the time. It gives them some new content over there. Or was it because so many of the major Hallmark stars are doing these tours now in these cities and kind of doing these little Christmas events and press events? And these guys and Heather Hynes are promoting this movie with them too. So maybe it was all three of those things. Again, I'm sure these people know more than I do, but I wish it had come out like a month ago because I feel like the fervor would have maybe been a little more intense because it's granted. This was a great movie. I am so surprised. I just kind of had it on in the background as whatever because you had watched it and I was like, let me give it a spin. Loved it. Thought it was great.
Yeah. I think it's probably a little bit of all three of the things that you mentioned, but if I had to venture a guess, I think it's probably the first one. I think that they just needed, I think they needed some big content for Hallmark Plus to draw people in, and they know who they're going after. They're going after their core audience who like some of these big stars, and so to have a 3-part series wrapped around these guys, I think is a really smart move that's really going to make a splash for Hallmark Plus. So we think it's worth the watch. So that's going to do it for this special edition of Do You Watch What I Watch? We're hoping to do more of these throughout the holiday season with movies that we didn't draft. If you've not seen, we've got a draft episode of the 20 Christmas movies that we're going to watch, recap, and review all throughout the holiday season, Jennifer.
That's right. We'll link it here. We'll link it in the podcast description and on the YouTube channel. But yeah, we need a name, like a little clever name for our little short episode lists. Like what's like a Christmas themed
quick hit, or I don't know, like a jingle. No, that's not good.
Get flagged. That sounds like police officers will show up at our door. Aren't you doing some quick hits?
Oh boy. We gotta.
Well,
we'll workshop it.
Yeah. We'll talk offline about that. Okay. Sounds good. Well, as always, we will have much to discuss on our next episode. And
may your days be merry and bright. We'll see you soon. Happy countdown to Christmas.
It's a national holiday.